What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into my channel. It's been a long time since I've uploaded a long format video, but I'm gonna get back on the train, so here we go. So today I'm gonna talk about the importance of the struggle. And I was recently listening to a reel on Instagram, and it's from a scientist. His name is Huberman. That's his last name. I'm not actually sure what his first name is. But if you search Huberman on Instagram or even on YouTube or any other social media, I'm sure you'll find him. And he was highlighting the point that it's important to have things in our life that are physically tough in order to create chemical changes within the brain, in order to change our anatomy and our structure. So this got me thinking, and I thought that I could share how I feel I'm keeping the struggle in my life. So I guess it all started when I was talking to my coach, and I was telling him that I was doing a lot of running. And running is something that I do that really makes me feel good. It's not a chore for me to go out for a run because I'm running and I'm singing, I'm feeling good. And I was noticing that because I was running so much, I was starting to flare up old injuries, and specifically my knee. Talking to my coach about this, and he was saying that running in particular is something that definitely needs to be scaled back. So from that point on, I haven't been running as much, and I've been trying to supplement that time by doing other things. And I was trying to think, well, what is it that would be a struggle for me movement-wise? Because I truly like doing most things involved with movement. I mean, this is why I'm a movement coach. This is why I have this channel. This is why I do pretty much everything that I do in my life, is because I love movement. So I was trying to figure out ways that I could infuse the struggle into my life. So recently, I acquired a full-time substituting position in the town that I live in. Now that I'm doing this job, or now that I'm doing that job, 1 day a week, mind you, I have less time to do the things that I need to do. So the programming that I do, it's a 6-day-a-week program. I'm trying to follow it. I'm on my 6th phase with online coaching from Brian at the Movement Standard, and I'm really determined to keep that going. So I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, I don't have time on Mondays to teach at school all day long. I get out of school, I have a couple clients that I train. After those clients, I have a class that I teach. So by the time all that's done, I am cooked. I really don't feel like moving after that point. So that tells me that would be an opportunity where I can try to push through the struggle. So I could try to do my movement practice late at night after all my daily duties are done. And I took that a step further, and I was thinking to myself that I really don't like getting up early. I have such a hard time with it. I say I have a hard time, but I can still do it, but it's not fun. So what I've been doing on the days that I have to work all day, I don't get home until nighttime, I've been waking up really early, and I've been getting my movement practice in before I go off to work. So just that alone, in my mind, is a way that I can create a little bit of resistance and a little bit of struggle into my daily life. And I gotta say, this is relatively new for me. This is about a week old, but doing it, I actually did it a few days this week where I got up really freaking early, but I was able to do it Nothing bad happened. It was definitely a struggle. I had to constantly put my mindset in the right zone, but it all happened. So that's one example of how I am doing things that I don't necessarily want to do, but I'm still doing them anyways, and it's going to give me a better result because of it. The second thing that I thought of that is a conscious choice to put struggle into my life is with my training phases with Brian, I've been working a lot on object manipulation. And in my case, I've been working on some Olympic lifts. I started with power cleans. I went to hang cleans. Now I'm doing squat hang cleans. And that whole time, ever since I started doing those exercises, it has really flared up my wrist. So for maybe the past 9 months, I've been dealing with a lot of pain in my wrist. And when this pain first started happening, my first thought was to stop doing the exercises that caused the pain. And in my case, it was catching the bar in this front rack position. So I was talking to Brian about it, and because each time that one of my phase ends, I have to choose which direction I want to move into, or if I want to stay the course and continue developing the things that we've been developing. So I put a lot of trust in Brian, and I've continued working those exercises now for 3 phases in a row. So again, this is another way that I'm putting something into my movement practice that it's not exactly the funnest thing in the world for me, but I'm doing it anyways because I know I'm going to benefit from it. So I've done 2 phases where the wrist was extremely aggravated, and I really had to be mindful what I was doing, and I was doing all these extra wrist exercises, and I ended up getting through the phases. This most recent phase, now it's really getting better. And there was a point where I didn't think it was going to get better. And those types of things have actually happened to me a lot throughout my movement journey. So actually what I'm doing right now is I'm stretching out my wrists and I'm preparing my wrist to do some squat hang cleans right now. So this is the way that I warm up my hands and my forearms in order to do this. So it's been working for me really well. And I figured that I'd come on here, I'd upload this video, and I'd give you some examples of how I am adding the quote-unquote struggle into my daily routine. And again, I can't tell you the exact science behind this theory. If you go to Huberman's podcast, Huberman. I think his name is Huber, Huberman. So if you go to his podcast and you just listen to his stuff, you'll see, obviously he's a scientist. He knows what the hell he's talking about. So I'm not going to sit here and try to explain things that I don't really understand. But what I do understand is what I just told you, that you should try to do things in your everyday life that you don't necessarily want to do. And tell you the truth, it doesn't have to be physicality. It can be mental challenges. Maybe you're not good at memorizing people's names at work, and you start to do some more brain games so that way you can help trigger that short-term memory. Maybe the struggle is you've never cooked a day in your life, and you don't like doing it. You don't like buying the ingredients. You don't like preparing. Everything about it just kind of sucks. Well, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, you actually try to prepare and cook yourself a meal. I think that you'd be really surprised on how much of a difference it makes to put the struggle into your life. And I think that a lot of you would really benefit from it. And I think that a lot of you, just like myself, you would feel the difference. And it begins to give you a sense of accomplishment. It gives you some more self-confidence. It basically reassures the fact that you can do the things in your life that you didn't once think that you could do. Because the only thing that's stopping you from getting these things done is this. So it's just a matter of making that conscious effort to take this and use it for good. So this is my warm-up for my squat hang cleans. I'm going to end up doing 3 rounds of this. I'm breaking up the squat hang clean into smaller segments, smaller chunks. I'm doing 5 repetitions of each of those individual parts. This is the part that really stressed out my forearm. And then this one's intentional. I'm supposed to keep my body still. I need to catch the bar in this front rack position. I'm trying to allow the bar to roll to the front of my fingers, and I'm trying to get the bottoms of my arms parallel to the ground. I really lack in this range of motion and in this flexibility. So again, this is what flared up that, I guess, injury. I'll call it an injury in my left, in my left side forearm. But looking back at it now, when I look at prior videos, my bottom arms are definitely getting more parallel. And I'm definitely able to do this exercise with a lot more weight. And most importantly, well, kind of most importantly, is that fact that it's not flaring up my wrist as much. If I don't stretch out, if I'm not careful, it'll definitely bite me again. Let me do my final one here. But I was able to persevere, and I was able to push through to do the thing that I didn't really want to do. All right, so I finished my 3 sets of my warm-up. Now I've moved on to my working weight. So I've put 25 plates on the bar, and now I'm going to do 5 sets, 5 repetitions each, with a 2 to 3 minute break in between. And I was definitely not doing this when I first started. I know my form, to a lot of you, you'll probably see some form errors, but I'm definitely coming a long way. Feels amazing. All right, let's see how this first set goes. Wow. I know I already did my ending, but if you're still watching, way more power to you. Mini Movement Man saying, be kind to one another. That's the camera. Be kind to one another. Move well. Whew, I'll talk to you next time. Peace.